I'm conscious of time, so I'd like to get you to focus a little bit on the talent, local talent. So what advice would you give them to prepare themselves to compete? So that is a question. It's got a couple of parts, but I'll let you give us your thoughts on that first part.
My instinct is to say, be curious. That the one, if I were to narrow it down to one thing that will make any candidate successful in this space, is curiosity. And it's, you know, with that curiosity comes other things like energy. So I think we spoke earlier about the variety of roles and skill sets that are required within this area. I would say, you know, if you are interested in this space, do some research, some real mindful research, and consider what it is that you're really interested in. Are you a scientist? Do you like, you know, building platforms, so data warehouses? Do you like to, you know, develop reports and dashboards? Are you more interested in, you know, being an analyst and, you know, supporting organizations make decisions, so more of business analysis? Are you interested in helping kind of transformation around data and analytics? It's, you know, there's so much opportunity. So do your research, study hard. There's some core things that if I were to turn back time, I would spend more time in, namely maths and statistics. I'd, you know, focus a lot more in that space, I would say. But just be curious and find things out, you know, join communities that talk about data, learn about new technologies that are coming out, you know, explore how other people are looking at it and how they're using data. So yeah, be curious, stay curious, and yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there.
So then you mentioned math and statistics. Then that touches on the next part of the question, the penultimate question. So we wanted to find out about, you know, the key interpersonal skills, technical, professional, and academic skills. And academic, I suppose, you know, the whole, and technical, academic / technical could be the statistics and math, but any other key skills that you would advise them to sharpen and develop?
So I would say that there's lots of different entry points to the area, and again, it depends on what type of role interests you or what type of function interests you. What I would say is that things like computer science, statistics, and mathematics, they cut across everything. So, you know, if as a base, I would say that, you know, go for that base. From an interpersonal perspective, again, there's more onus on this depending on, you know, what function you end up in. Certainly, you know, where you're doing things like data engineering, for example, or data warehousing development and, you know, BI development, the onus is less so. But things like communication, being able to, some of those softer skills, being able to sit down with someone who's non-technical and elicit from them their requirements. I think those are very useful skills to have. You probably need them more if you're more client facing. But yeah, I would say it's a new kind of area. It's hungry for resources and candidates. And as long as you're ambitious and you have a willing to learn, you're hungry to learn and you're hungry to grow, I would say that there's opportunity for everyone. I mean, me personally, my background is linguistics. So that's how I came into it. And I just wanted to figure things out because my thought process is very logical in its nature. And so I could forego some of that stuff. So it really just, there's a lot of entry points.
Excellent. And the last question, sadly for me, how do you find out about opportunities then? If you're a local talent in Sudan, what would be the advice?
I would certainly say, you know, there's a lot of, as everything's turning more digital, there's a lot of opportunities that are on some of these online sort of websites and platforms. Say, for example, something like LinkedIn. I think that's a brilliant, you know, platform and space for organizations to offer roles, but also provide learning. They have a really good learning platform as part of that. So I would say, you know, I spend quite a bit of my time on LinkedIn creating connections and finding things out. That's one way of doing it. I would say also, you know, joining global organizations. There's one that I've recently kind of spent more and more time with called DAMA, which is the Data Management Association. They've got a great learning platform. Again, I would just say, you know, explore, join communities. Tableau is a data visualization tool. They have a really burgeoning community globally, where analysts share their, you know, dashboards. They, you know, they run competitions and things like that to get people excited about the space. You can, you know, you can learn so much. There's conferences online where you could, you know, join now with all the COVID situation. You can join online conferences and learn about a wide variety of topics. But that's also a good space to meet other people, network with organizations or with other analysts, and that's also a really important thing. I think when we are looking for jobs, we focus on how do I network with a company. You forget that if you're a part of a community and you're networking with peers as well, and you are showcasing your work on some of these platforms, they'll find you. But also, you know, word of mouth. If someone you've met is working at a company and then opportunity comes about, well, they're going to say, hey, I've met this, or I've seen this great analyst who's posted their, you know, their dashboard or their analysis somewhere. They've won this competition. That, and, you know, you link it back to your LinkedIn profile, for example. That's how people find out about you. And certainly, you know, good, strong candidates float all the way up to the top. So that would be my advice.
That is really, really good advice. And I think it links back with what you said, be curious, because you can only, you know, make the time and have the tenacity to, you know, create yourself this profile, you know, professional profile. And I think, you know, people need to, or young people need to understand that it's a part of creating your brand. You know, it's absolutely a brand. You have to create and consider all the marketing mix, the 5 P's, you know, the product, the promotion, the place, the price, you know. And I think one of the things we always remind young people in Sudan, have a really strong LinkedIn profile, have a really strong CV where you demonstrate everything you've done. You basically, you created your brand, and this is how you promote it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, thinking about it as building your brand, understanding who you are and having that elevator pitch for yourself. I think all of those things are really important to be very clear. And certainly, as you know, as I've done a whole host of interviewing and recruitment, and you know, the strongest candidates I found are the ones that are quite clear in themselves who they are and what they want, and they articulate that and they showcase that with their portfolio of work. You know, that's a strong proposition. Right?
And absolutely, even if you are an entrepreneur, or you know, or an inventor, or you know, something of the sort, you never know. You might find someone you talk to about your idea, and that person could turn into someone who wants to invest or support the idea, you know, locally in Sudan. So absolutely 100% agree with you. The networking element and the putting the profile out there in trusted you know, platforms is very important. Yusra, thank you so much. This has been a great session. It's going to turn into a fantastic you know, series, and I've learned a lot about data and all its different facets. I'm excited about data, which is a little bit scary and surprising at the same time. But also I think I'm starting to on the back of this conversation, I'm starting to understand, you know, break it down in a way that is practical as to, you know, what it looks like in as part of my life, personal life and at work. And I'm hoping that we will have you, because it's such a vast topic, we will appeal to your time to come and join us, and we will explore various different areas in the future. And I'm hoping that you'll be with us, and you'll be our own private data and analytics expert at Sudan. So we look forward to that very much so. Thanks very much again.
Thank you. Lovely to speak to you. Bye.
Yeah.